Hello and welcome back to the Great Football Chat. And things have not gone well at all at Liverpool, have they? Now it's reaching the boiling point, and I just want to talk about it. I want to start from the very beginning. I want to express my opinion on what actually led to this and why this club has ended up in such a situation. And then I would like to say how I think is the best way to proceed for them. So, well, let's start from the very beginning in the transfer window. You know, I feel that Liverpool's transfer business this summer has not been well thought out, I would say. Think they have signed players in positions they didn't really make sense in the way they signed them. All right, the situation in summer it basically forced Liverpool's hand to sign two strikers. It was already decided that Nunes has had to go, and then Jota unfortunately passed away. So Liverpool had to sign two strikers. They were going for Isak, obviously, their first choice, but they couldn't get it done until the very last day of the window, very last hours. But they did sign Ekitike, and I don't really know if Liverpool needed Isak. I don't think they actually needed Isak. I think it would have been way better to sign somebody like Osimhen. You know, when you need two strikers, you don't really want to sign two players who would want to be number one. Somebody has to be okay with playing less games. Somebody has to be okay sitting on the bench most of the time, right? They will fight for the place. They will absolutely try to use their time to the best effect. But I mean, you just can't have like two top strikers or both of them vying for the starting place at the same time and both of them basically wanting to be the number one striker. Of course everybody would want to be, but that kind of distinction that I understand my role as the number two would be fine. And Liverpool did the other way, signed two basically big names who want to be the number one, who want to lead the line, who want to be in the starting 11 like 9 out of 10 games. And that just wouldn't work. That just would not work. Somebody was going to get upset. Somebody was just not going to get enough game time as they wanted, as they were maybe promised. So I thought at the start of the window it would be extremely good business to sign Osimhen, who would be basically half the price of Isak, and if you ask me, twice the player. I genuinely think Victor Osimhen is way better than Isak. Isak hasn't really proven anything, while Osimhen has won the Serie A with fucking Napoli, which is a feat in and of itself, and became the top scorer as well. He has accolades, and he did go to I think it's Galatasaray. Yeah, he went to Galatasaray, and I think he's currently still the top scorer in the Champions League, which is fucking insane. But he is that good. He's genuinely that good, and they signed Isak, and this is the thing. This is the thing that I hate. You Liverpool were trying to sign Isak for basically the entire summer, and he was kicking up a fuss. He was refusing to train, refusing to play, just posting stuff on social media, posting the statements and whatnot. And when somebody does that in order to force a move, that's not the player you want to sign, man. That is genuinely not the player you want to sign. That is a demonstration of lack of professionalism right there. You don't really want someone like that in your team. And when they start doing that, as Liverpool, I would just pull out of the press like, oh, you're gonna handle yourself that way? Just no. I'm sorry, man, but we cannot be dealing with you because there will come a time where you will conduct yourself in the same way with us. That is just a matter of time, and or just a matter of having an offer from like Barcelona or Real Madrid or whoever. Doesn't really matter at this point, and that's a bad sign. I wholeheartedly would not recommend signing a player who does that, no matter how good they are, especially when there are better alternatives on the market, So, whatever. Sign Isak, whatever. Now, this creates an enormous dilemma for the manager because you cannot really play everyone all at once. Before I even get into that, one of the biggest mistakes, I think, is the Liverpool let go of Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott was the only player in that squad who could replace Salah. There was no one else who could play right wing more or less the same way that Salah plays there, it's not obviously a one-to-one thing, but more or less he is of the same profile, right winger, left footed, And the only other player in Liverpool squad who can genuinely play and has played as a normal right winger in like a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 or whatever is Chiesa. But obviously Slot doesn't really trust Chiesa enough to start him. I think he's only ever started once in his Liverpool career. This is like, I don't know. I genuinely don't understand what's going on there. But I will I will try to at least make a conjecture about that. So now they've sold Diaz. They've got rid of Elliott, and they've signed Isak. They've signed Ekitike. They've signed Witz and Frimpong and Kirkes. Frimpong and Kirkes, perfectly reasonable signings. Your main right back left, you need a replacement. Obviously, your main left back is deteriorating and aging. You need a replacement. Obviously, and I think Kirkes is extremely close to the profile of Andy Robertson, while Frimpong is not at all close to the profile of Trent Alexander-Arnold. No, genuinely, like no one is. I think the closest guy is Reece James. I don't think anyone else is like close in profile, not close as like ability, but in profile to Trent Alexander-Arnold and how he plays and how we and his style basically. Now, this creates a challenge to basically rebuild the team. The team that won the Premier League was basically still Klopp's team, They've only, they genuinely like barely improved on what Klopp did in the previous season because Liverpool won the league with 84 points, and in the previous season they had 86. I mean, it's even hard to say that's an improvement, The only reason Liverpool won that title because both Man City and Arsenal fell off tremendously. That was the only reason. Liverpool were the only team to basically keep the same pace they had the last season. And that's the only thing Slot had done. He didn't bring in anyone. He didn't change things up massively. He just continued the way, continued in the same way in his club and just got the result, But I think the signs of the current collapse, I would say this way, appeared when Liverpool actually got knocked out by PSG in the Champions League because that game was close. Like the second leg, I'm talking about the first leg. They were basically battered by PSG, but still got away with the win. And you think that, okay, it's, next leg at Anfield, they have a huge advantage. It's only a 1-0 advantage, but still couldn't really capitalize on that. They got to penalties, lost in the penalties, and got knocked out. And slowly, the team started to erode from that position. Basically, slowly and slowly, everything started going badly. And by the end of the season, they could barely made, they were barely able to win games. It was like really bad by the end of the season. But well, they got over the line. They won the title. They And yeah, fine, good for you. You capitalized on everybody else's demise. Nice. But when Slot was for tasked to build his own team, get his own players in, implement his own style, his own philosophy, is everything. He failed. He has genuinely failed, and all of this was basically at the end of the second half of last season. The signs were there, and I think he's tactically he's not outstanding. He is basically like he's okay. He's standard. He's average. Um, and his management is fucking piss poor, man. It's piss poor. The way he treated Nunes, the way he treated Elliot, the way he still continues to treat Chiesa is I don't know. This isn't. It's no. I would say it's no way to treat your players. I would say it's no way to treat a fellow professional, a fellow man. Like this is what I want to say is this is fucking asshole behavior. Just like if we completely disconnected, and even if we completely disconnected from the sporting context, it's an asshole behavior, man. Because Chiesa, every time he comes on and he's on the pitch, he tries, he works his fucking socks off. He mostly he's very effective and he does something. Goals, assists, he does something. But no matter what, he doesn't seem to earn his goddamn place in the starting lineup. And Nunez, he seemed to get in some kind of form, and basically like that he was dropped. I think it was like he had an assist to Elliot's goal away at PSG, and then in the league he scored against Southampton, and then he was just basically frozen out completely till the end of the season. Just completely fucked off, right? Again, it's genuinely disappointing, and it's not as if in that period other people who are playing center forward were contributing much more than Nunez. So yeah, again, poor treatment of a player. Then Elliot, he basically got rid of Elliot, and the things he's doing, like the teams he picks and the way he plays, that just doesn't make sense. The squad he has, it's obvious that you cannot put all your favorite and all your best players on the pitch at the same time. You cannot have Isak and Ekitike and Wirtz and Salah and Soboslai and McAllister and Gravenberg and everyone on the pitch at the same time. It's just impossible, you know? Well, no, it's technically possible, but you can just have like one center back and that's it. But that's the thing that's the situation he got himself into, you know? And it's extremely hard to get yourself out of the situation. And because he is unable to, he's losing the dressing room and hence the interview from Salah. And that is the basically we're getting into the boiling point here, you know? And speak about unprofessionalism all you want, but I, in this instance, I back Salah to the fullest extent because this shit has to fucking end, you know? Sometimes somebody is has to come out and say that, you know what, it's a mess. It's a mess. The manager won't say it. The media surrounding the club won't say it. The pundits won't say it. No, but somebody has to say it. And Salah, he just said it from his personal perspective, what he's been through, and I think he's perfectly justified in that. I think he's completely justified in that because he is the best player at the club. Bar none, not this season. This season, the best player has been Soboslai, and I feel so fucking horrible for Soboslai. He's done so well, but his team hasn't backed him up one bit. And Salah, again, yeah, he's been shit. There's no two ways about that. But again, he is the only player in this team who can play the position that he plays. There's no player, any other player in the team that has the right winger as their natural position. And Slot was saying, oh, you know what, Salah is gonna go to Afghan and, you know, just Frimpong will play. What the fuck do you mean Frimpong will play fucking right wing? He's a right back, mate. What the fuck do you mean? Doesn't he's an extremely attack-minded right back. Doesn't mean he's a fucking right winger, and doesn't mean he can play there as well as Salah or even as close to what Salah does. And it's a completely different profile. You have to tear up your whole fucking play style because you are replacing your best player with a right back who's playing out of position. The fuck do you mean, man? That completely and utterly demonstrates that tactically he is at most average. And this is also demonstrated in the fact that never under Slot have Liverpool played to just batter teams. They're under Klopp, they played to fucking batter some teams, and they have. Man, I genuinely, they have won. They have put 7 goals past so many teams, right? They won like 7-0 against, I think it was Maribor. I think they won 7-0 against Spartak Moscow. They won 7-0 against Man United, 7-0 against Crystal Palace. You know, this team could absolutely fucking batter other teams. But what Slot has always done is just if you are leading 1-0, pull back. Just don't press anymore. Just don't be aggressive anymore. If we score, good. If you're leading 2-0, just none of that. If you get a goal on the counter or from a corner or something, fine. But just no more attacking. Just keep the ball, play it around. No more risks. No more improvisation. Nothing. None of that. And that was the major change. And that is not good. That is not how a great manager tells his team to play. There's either you are a defensive team and just are rigid and solid defensively, which Liverpool aren't and have never been, or you just take the other approach and just go for their throats and score so many that they just don't want to fucking play anymore and they're just waiting for the final whistle. Which was biting Liverpool in the ass at the start of the season. They had to score in the fucking last minute so many times, lost the lead so many times. And at some point, that steam ran out and they just started losing, just straight up. And alright, something's going wrong. And Slot decides to change it up. He decides to drop Salah. Okay, he's underperformed. Drop him. But who are you going to replace him with, man? He dropped Salah against Galatasaray. Replaced him with Frimpong. It lost fucking immediately. Fucking shocker. And the experiment he's been doing recently obviously hasn't been working. And Salah is completely justified in feeling this way, you know? Because, okay, fine if you drop a player and put somebody in who possibly could do a better job. You know, this player is out of form. He's lost confidence. He needs a rest, so on and so forth. But if you put somebody in who is not of the same position, who just isn't the same standard, like none of this makes sense. If for example, if Slot decided to just play Chiesa as a right winger, and Chiesa has, let's say, 2 assists in the last few matches, but then Salah wouldn't really be feeling that way. He'd be like, okay, fair enough. I had been doing best, but clearly somebody else has stepped up and he's done better than I. You know? So he's been given time and he's proven himself and he has contributed more than I have. But the situation hasn't been this way. It just hasn't been, man. Who is the replacement for Salah? Like, who's the right winger? We're basically, Liverpool are playing without a right winger, and it just isn't working. Yeah, you, of course, fuck it, you beat West Ham, fucking congratulations. But lost points to fucking Southampton, no, sorry, Sunderland at home, and lost a lead twice against Leeds. You know, and it wasn't even going to look like Liverpool were gonna score, but Leeds just gifted Ekitike his goal. The first one, in the second one, it wasn't a gift, but it was a poor way to concede again. And the same can be said about Liverpool themselves, but again, it's the same thing all like the entire season, right? Okay, we're leading 2-0. Fuck it, bring off Wits, bring off the Ekitike, and let's just play for this 2-0 win. That's not how you play, man. That's just genuinely not how you play. You go for the third, for the fourth goal. You go for it. You don't defend your lead. This Liverpool team is not set up to defend the lead by just sitting back. It's set up to defend the lead just by scoring more. That's how they win 3 points, not by sitting back. You know? And yes, individually players have been poor. Van Dijk is a shadow of himself. Konate is basically, he's been fucking awful this season. And others have, Kerkas hasn't really been good. Frimpong and the Bradley have barely played. And it's just so many things going on. And Slotty, he basically think, okay, we're gonna put Szoboszlai at the right back. No, okay, fuck it. The Szoboszlai is really good. We need him forwards. Okay, we'll put fucking Jones right back. Oh fuck, it's not working. Okay, Joe Gomez, bring him back. You know, it's just a mess, man. And this reminds me of the situation that happened between Rodgers and Steven Gerrard, like more than 10 years, 11 years ago now, right? So, it's same thing. Aging player, still the best player in the team by a fucking mile, and starting to underperform a bit, which I will remind everyone that Steven Gerrard was still the top scorer for his own team at the age of fucking 34 by the end of the 14-15 season. He still ended as the top scorer. It's fucking embarrassing that it's what it is, you know. And Salah, he's not been as good. He's been underperforming. We get that. But you haven't got a plan B. Haven't signed anyone who is capable of replacing Salah and doing him justice. And Salah has now come out and said basically just how he's feeling. And I wish Steven Gerrard had come out and said the same thing the Salah has said. Because you know what happened then? Liverpool hierarchy, the higher ups trusted the manager. Gerrard left, and Rodgers was still sacked the next season. You know, it's the same. Like no one is bigger than the club. Yes, nobody is bigger than the club, but some players are bigger than the manager, and you just gotta fucking deal with it. And if you deal, and if there's a huge conflict between them, you get rid of the manager because you gotta identify who the manager. If this was Klopp, I would say get rid of Salah. But Slot is not Klopp. Slot is nowhere near the quality of Klopp, man. I just dread to think what would happen if you gave Slot the team that was completely in disarray, like the team that was handed to Klopp when he came in. Right? He immediately took that team and took them to two finals that season. It was a fucking shit team. Still took them to two finals that very season. You know, Slot isn't capable of that. He took what Klopp had and won the league with two less points. You know, where was this fucking disarray at Arsenal and Manchester City when Klopp was winning 97 points? Yeah, so you gotta identify who the bigger contributor to the club is. Is it the manager or is it the player? Because if it's the player, then you gotta just get rid of the manager. If it's the manager, get rid of the player. And I'm sorry, but Mohamed Salah has contributed way more to this Liverpool team for the last what fucking 7-8 years than Slot. You know, and I think he deserves to be backed by the club far more than Slot. I genuinely think that the way Gerrard was deserving to be backed far more than Rodgson. Fucking Rodgers and Hodgson just spliced them together. Than Rodgers, you know. So what Liverpool should have done 10 years ago is just immediately when they found out that there was a conflict between Steven Gerrard, the club's greatest ever fucking player, and their average manager, just get rid of the fucking manager, you know, and even if there was nobody else to replace him to improve the team immediately, what was the point? They finished like fucking sixth that season. That's not. It wasn't like they were gonna get relegated. Even if you put me in charge, the team wasn't that bad. Yeah, Steven Gerrard, Raheem Sterling, and Philippe Coutinho in it, you know? So, it's not gonna get any worse. Because if you are Liverpool and you are finishing below fifth, it just doesn't matter when you finish. Like, in between 6th and 17th, it doesn't matter where you finish if you're Liverpool. It genuinely doesn't matter if you finish fucking 17th or 6th, as long as you're finishing outside the Champions League places. And by the way the season is going, Slot is not going to be able to salvage that. Even if we just got rid of Salah right now. If John Henry just came out and said, okay, Salah, fuck off. You are like Mohamed Salah, you are. It just that's gotta that would be even worse. And all these people coming out, oh, he shouldn't have said that. Oh, that's unprofessional. You know what? Fuck that. You know what's unprofessional? What Slot is doing his entire time at Liverpool is unprofessional. The way he treated Nunez is unprofessional. The way he treats Chiesa is unprofessional. The way he treated Elliott is unprofessional. The way he treats Salah is fucking unprofessional. And his tactics and his decision making and his transfer are fucking amateurish. It looks genuinely, this transfer business that Liverpool did this summer genuinely looks like something a 14-year-old would do on FIFA. You know, it's no longer FIFA, but you get my point. And we come to this situation, and obviously Salah's been underperforming. You get that, you know, but he's underperforming. He's colleague has just died. I don't know what kind of relationship he had with Jota. If you are the like really good friends or just colleagues or just acquaintances or whatever, right? How close they were. But obviously, it's affecting him. He's the right back he's played with his entire Liverpool career has just gone, and he again, as I've said before, he's a very unique profile of right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he has to adjust to a completely different right back playing behind him, and the two strikers that he was linking up forward have both departed, and he has to again adjust to the completely new people who are playing up front. And one of them, the one who's supposed to be the bigger one, Isak, hasn't been even remotely close to his former self. So again, the tactics are poor. There's no fucking pressing. There's no urgency. There is no creativity in this team. Defensively, it's a fucking mess. And obviously, most people are playing bad. Salah's playing poorly. McAllister is way off himself. Um, Van Dijk is poor. Konate is dreadful, and even even like Allison, man, he's not hadn't put a foot wrong, but God, like I don't really remember seeing a great save this season from Allison. He hasn't really saved anything that he used to save before. So people are out of form. It's kind of falling apart. And when the problems are like at that level, you just gotta get rid. It's just a matter of time. The slot will be sacked, man. He will be. If not this season, then the next season. It's just a matter of time. But if you want to repeat the same mistake you did 10 years ago with Steven Gerrard, and he ended his career miserably playing in fucking MLS, well, Salah will not end his career here. It's a bit of a different situation, but at least he deserves more. At least he deserves more. And I get that he feels frustrated because he's being dropped only to have literally no one playing in his position. He's being dropped for no one. And the results haven't even improved. That's the sad part. If the results had improved, if somebody playing instead of Salah had somehow outperformed Salah, then it would be understandable, and then I have no doubt that Salah would be coming out with this sort of thing. No. But the way it's gone now, it's completely on the manager. It is genuinely completely on the manager because he's refusing to drop Konate, who has been dreadful. Just, you know, give Joe Gomez a shot. Maybe he can do a bit better than Konate. He is a center back after all, right? Give him a shot. Because Konate has been dreadful for so long now. It's a mistake after mistake after mistake. And I don't know, if you can't see that as a manager, you are not a very good manager, are you? So, in my opinion, Liverpool should back Salah. They should sack Slot as soon as possible. And I don't know, even go fuck it. Just appoint Gerrard till the end of the season. He can't do any worse, can he? And at the end of the day, he deserves like to have at least have a shot at managing Liverpool. You know. So yeah, that's what nobody would listen to me. Barely anyone will even see this video, if anyone at all. Man, that's just my opinion. I have no one else to talk to in my real life who would be happy to listen to me rant for half an hour about the problems with Liverpool. But yeah, well, fuck it. It is what it is. So I don't know, if anybody sees this, just let me know what you think. Many people would disagree with me, and that's fine. I understand everybody. You know, I just don't agree with you, but I get where you're coming from. So yeah, if you find this even mildly interesting, leave a comment down below. Just let me know what you think. I think Liverpool should back Salah and sack Slot. It sets a good precedent, you know, and it's they would be avoiding the mistake they have already made, because if they do it again, they've just admitted they have learned absolutely fucking nothing from the previous situation. It's not as if it's a different ownership; it's the same. So yeah, that's basically my fucking almost 40-minute rant about Salah versus Slot. Yeah, and that's it. I don't know where I'll make the next video, but when I do, I'll see you there.